Sorry about that, guys. It seemed like there was no sound there. All right, I'll get back into it here. Yeah. Anyway, the Shanghai composite actually came off, quite a bit after the, after better than expected numbers last night. So, just giving us a little bit of a pullback and maybe a little bit of profit taking. We've had some better result there out of the local market for the last few sessions. I think maybe just the better than expected data is kind of thinking that they're going to come in with some curbs in terms of on the new policy front and potentially pull back from stimulating the market a little bit. All right, we had Japan, which continued to ease off last week's 6-year high as the dollar ease from its recent strength against the yen. We have had the yen that's really just been pushing lower almost every single day, and that's been a huge boost to the local market there. Today we've got a lot of stocks that are going ex-div. We've got MDC, we've got ABLs, we've got CMLs, we've got SPPs, we've got Life Healthcare, and we've got SA Breweries. So remember, SA Breweries, that's obviously U.S. cents, so we're going to be looking for something close to $3 on a divvy there. And then we also had Bidvest, which was out over the weekend, making an offer to acquire a 34.5% stake in Adcock for 70 Rand cash, all cash offer for those shares, which is really, I think, going to put some confusion into the market. I don't really see it being a big negative for the share. I think in essence it may actually end up even being a positive. You may get CFR that steps it up on the cash front a little bit because of that, and so I think it could be a positive in the long run there. All right. Market data out, like we said, we had the Chinese PMI better than expected. We had Japanese capital spending, which is a little bit light. We've got PMI across the European region. We've also got local PMI here at 11. And then we've got UK PMI. And then later in the States, we've got the US ISM manufacturing numbers. All right, let's jump into the maps. All right, first thing I want to have a look at here is the British pound versus Rand. The reason why I want to show this is we've really been in quite a defined let's just run it from there, a defined downtrend here in the Rand, where we've it's actually worked out to be a bit of a channel, I would say, because as you can see there, just an upward sloping channel or downward sloping channel, whichever currency you're looking at. And we're going to push up against this trend line. Again, this morning we're kind of pushing up against it, getting close to 1680 now at the top end of resistance. I mean, this thing's been quite consistent going all the way back to the middle of the year. So I think we can continue to maybe kind of stay in this range. Just a little bit of guidance, a little bit of leadership maybe. That's something to look at when you're playing some of these Rand hedge stocks. So it does look like we're kind of getting to the top end of the channel here in terms of from the pound side, and could push back a little bit stronger over the next few sessions, which would obviously weigh a little bit on the some of the dual listeds. All right, let's look at Nedbank. Nedbank, this pattern has been the main pattern that we've seen in our index, I think now for several sessions. We had all these stocks that came down, tested support from where we broke out, and then really in just a flag, and then kind of pushing higher. Nedbank, no different from the others. It's popped out to the top end above the flag. And I don't see any reason why this thing can't possibly take out the recent highs and all-time highs there, up close to 220. Rimgro actually going to go back a little bit longer here. I know we've looked at this chart 10 times. We've kind of we really pushed up against. I don't actually need to go back a whole 2 years, I don't think. Okay, so you can see there we obviously came down, tested trend line support here. We spent 3 or 4 days down there, so it was a good test. The reason why I'm showing is we obviously same sort of thing. This little triangle that we kind of formed here, this descending triangle. That we're actually and pushing that descending triangle off of trend support. We turned up on Friday. Finally, really what I think is kind of above where we've been consolidating in this little narrowing wedge here. So I think the fact that we've kind of gotten above that, we could start to see some upside here in the market. It's actually lagged the market considering it's really a holding company. I think it's maybe lagging some of its peers a little bit. So I would think that room growth could be due to run over the next few sessions once the seller's cleared out. All right, Amplatz at 400 is obviously major level here. We talked about this the other day. We managed to pop above it on a closing basis on Friday at 403. This thing we obviously failed to the downside here the first attempt, but I think as we regain this, and Paula's chart looks very similar. Didn't drop major support by as much, but bottom line is I think this if we can continue to hold 400, these things could have upside again. We could see this thing trade back up to some sort of trend resistance up there. So watch this closely. We had the mining stocks that kind of turned the last couple sessions that could continue over the next few sessions. And then the last one I want to show is this one. This is Grindrod. I actually think Grindrod kind of broke out already out of a bit of a descending triangle formation down here, but either way, let's look at how it is now, and you can see there we did make several tops up around the same level here around 2570. I think there's probably 7 or 8 touches on that line. So the fact that we broke out above that, very significant. I would say that this is kind of where our range was, which is down here around 24.30. So maybe we're looking for about $1.50 to the upside. And I think Grindrod as well. I mean, we had some really good. We've had a really good boost in the Baltic Dry Index as of late. Shipping companies on Friday in the States, if I'm not mistaken, were up anywhere between 7 and 12%. So they had some huge rallies there, even though it was a half day of trade. I like this breakout play. I think it could continue. And if I'm not mistaken, we're creeping up toward all-time highs here. I'm actually just back out to 10-year. There we go. Yeah. I remember we got close to $30 back in 2008. So I think, we were up at around, call it 28.90. I wouldn't be surprised if we could kind of get up to that level and get up there rather soon. So keep an eye on the Grindrod. I think there's definitely a reason for these things to continue to push higher. That's it for today, guys. Thanks a lot.